Welcome back to Sport Bike Menace. We're going to do the chain tensioner, and the tools you're going to need is a 36 millimeter and with a breaker bar, and that's going to be for this bolt right here, this big one. You're just going to loosen it up. You don't need to take this whole thing off, just loosen enough to where this can move back and forth. Then you're going to need a 10 millimeter for the stopper. So it has basically two stoppers, and then you have this one right here, which is a 12 millimeter. So when you tighten that up, it's going to stop this screw from moving. And then you got to do that on both sides to get those both loose before you can start moving the chain around. And then I'll explain more. So it's going to be the same thing here. You have 12 and a 10. I gotta loosen that up because I did it for the other side. I've been having problems with my GoPro. So again, so now this is able to rotate because I loosened that up. So let's see if I can zoom in. So I don't know if you're able to see, there's markings right here. And you gotta match that up to the other side. If not, your chain is not gonna be straight. If your chain is not straight, you can imagine how your tire is gonna be. It'll be curved either or. So if your chain is straight, that means your tire should be straight going across. But again, if it's pivot to the side, you're gonna damage your tire and you could probably get into an accident. So make sure that those markings are even on both sides, because that's how you know if you're even. But my chain is on the loose side, so I gotta tighten it up. So you need patience to do this. I'll tell you guys that now. It's trial and error. So I'm not gonna show the whole thing of trial and error because it's gonna literally take too long. And then I'm basically going to be going back and forth with the camera. I don't know the specs of how loose or tight that chain is supposed to be. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll be right back. I'm going to check the other side. And again, you guys want to match it up to both sides. It got to be even. So again, it's going to be a pain in the butt because you're going to have to go back and forth. And then make sure you hit the tire, and at least find yourself like more or less where you guys are at. So as you're doing this, you want to check the tension on the chain. On top of that, you got to pay attention to where your markings are at. I think we're good enough. And again, a lot of this stuff is going to be trial and error. I'm going to tell you guys that now. Because as soon as I tighten up, I use this, it's going to mess with the chain again. So you're going to have to like kind of tighten it, then recheck your chain. Also recheck your markings. And you might have to do this a couple times. But I just want to show you guys ahead of time. In reality, I did this wrong, so I'm going to show you guys how I did it wrong. You're supposed to hold it in place because that bolt is going to move. So hold it in place with this and tighten with this. And then try to keep it to where it doesn't move. And then do the same for the other side. So then I'll show you guys the markings where we're at. And again, I might have to do this a couple times, but I'm not going to show it on camera because it's going to take too long. So it's on the tight side, but again, it still has wiggle. So I think that's going to be good. It's not super tight where I can't move it. And I was getting dirty again. But I'm going to show you guys when I tighten that wheel up, how this is going to change. So see if I can get you guys to see how much wiggle room that is. And watch when I tighten up the wheel, it's going to change. And as you're tightening this up, make sure you got to keep hitting it that way. You can even put your knee against it to make sure it's not rolling backwards. It's not completely tight. Again, I'm going to show you what the chain is going to do now. So you got a little tighter, but that's fine because I still got some wiggle room. And again, I don't know the specs to how tight this is supposed to be. So I'm going to leave it here and then see how the bike reacts towards this. You don't want it super tight because this being super tight, yes, they can stretch, but the problem is that you can damage your rotors. I say your rotors, I'm sorry, your sprockets and your front sprocket, and then this chain could snap under pressure. But I got a little wiggle room. But we're gonna look at the markings. So we're at 4, just a little bit before 4, and I gotta match it up on both sides. See, and where it looks just perfect on both sides. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. We're just before 4. So that looks good to me. And again, I'm gonna try that out and see how that works. Like if it's, I don't know, again, the specs, there's a spec, and then you get to measure it with a ruler, how far that chain's slacking. But yeah, I hope I was able to help you guys out. Ride safe, stay warm, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.